Hard work isn't the problem, it's the trap. Success isn't about doing more, it's about removing resistance. The elite train less, work less, and achieve more. They don't add, they eliminate. While most men stack habits and grind harder, mistaking activity for progress, top performers ruthlessly cut friction points. What if adding more is exactly what's been holding you back? Like society conditions this lie into your psyche that if you're not seeing results, just do more. Like if you're feeling stuck, just add another system. Or if your business is plateauing, like stack on another marketing channel. So we keep piling on weight and complexity, thinking that the next thing will be the breakthrough. But this is like upgrading your engine while the handbrake's still on. Like all that additional power means nothing if you're simply fighting against resistance that you've created yourself. And most are caught in this idea of motion where they're trapped in the illusion of busyness. Like, because progress isn't about force, it's about friction. Now, I've built all my success on this exact principle, from aerospace engineer to founding Rising Kings. Like I've tested this through Ironman triathlons, 40-hour commando challenges, ultra marathons, to saving hundreds of marriages, scaling businesses, and transforming thousands of men's lives. And when top performers come to me after trying everything else, the breakthrough is always the same. Cut what weakens your standards, remove what dilutes your focus, eliminate what doesn't serve your highest self. Now, this isn't optimization. This is what I refer to as weaponized focus. And here's why adding more slows you down. You've been conditioned to believe that speed comes from power. Like if you want a faster car, then we throw in a bigger engine. Or if you want faster results, then you just got to push harder. But here's the fatal flaw in this thinking. It's like upgrading to a 500 horsepower engine while the handbrake is left on. And no matter how much more power you're going to add, you're fighting against resistance that you've created. I want you to think about elite athletes. Like they're not just stronger or faster, they're ruthlessly efficient. They've eliminated unnecessary movements. They optimized technique. They've stripped away anything that doesn't directly contribute to their goal. And this principle applies everywhere. This is in business, founders who chase too many opportunities simultaneously, forgetting that each new initiative really fractures focus. It creates complexity that really hinders that person's decision making. And it's the same in daily life. Like every additional commitment you're making creates invisible friction points that is going to drain your mental bandwidth. And most men convince themselves that they're being productive when they're just burning themselves out. And here's the reason why, because we're neurologically wired to equate activity with progress. Like if you add a workout program, you set up yourself for dopamine, you get a dopamine hit. If you read another book, there's a sense of achievement. If you stack another habit, it feels like you're making improvement. But there's a critical distinction between motion and progress. It's the difference between a rocking horse and a bike. Both create movement, but only one moves you forward. And the most common performance-killing handbrakes I consistently see are the following. The first is information overload that kills execution. You think consuming more will make you smarter. More podcasts, more books, more advice. But every new input doesn't just add knowledge, it adds mental clutter. It fuels overthinking and kills decisive action. The answer isn't more information, it's more clarity. The next is too many priorities drain progress. When everything is important, nothing gets your full focus. It's the difference between a light that brightens a room and a laser that cuts through steel. Same energy, one is scattered, the other is unstoppable. And the third is that complexity creates hidden friction. The more moving parts, the more energy wasted just to stay afloat. Every system you add isn't progress, it's another potential breakdown. Simplify or stay stuck, maintaining what should be moving you forward. Men don't burn out from lack of effort. They collapse under the weight of complexity disguised as progress. The elimination mindset, less creates more. Elite performers know what most refuse to accept, that acceleration isn't about adding more. It's about removing what's slowing you down. And what you eliminate defines you just as much as what you pursue. The man who can say no to what others can't resist develops a confidence that becomes his competitive advantage. Amateurs add more tools, more tactics, more complexity. Masters remove, distilling everything to what actually moves the needle. A world-class chef doesn't use more ingredients, they use fewer with precision. A master builder doesn't need more tools, they know which few create the biggest impact. A veteran CEO doesn't waste time in meetings, they've cut everything out that doesn't drive results. High performance isn't about doing more, it's about removing what slows you down. And right now, you're carrying hidden resistance, habits, distractions, obligations that are draining your energy, but not doing anything to help you with your progress. The 80-20 revelation. Most men never grasp the power of truth, of the Pareto principle, that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. The average man distributes energy evenly, working on everything, achieving little. He exhausts himself on the 100% of inputs for average returns, when focusing on the vital 20% would produce 80% of the results. And the top performers weaponize this principle. In business, they eliminate low-value clients, unnecessary meetings, and this idea of perfectionism. In fitness, they're cutting out excessive cardio, redundant exercises, and overcomplicated nutrition. And then if you think about relationships, they remove digital distractions and the obligations that prevent deep connection. Now, the thing is, when this principle is applied, the transformation happens fast. There's an example of a rising king's brother that cut his work week from 70 hours down to 50. Now, beforehand, he was constantly firefighting, missing family dinners, always feeling behind. And then after eliminating everything that felt productive but moved nothing forward, he gained back 20 hours a week. He also increased his business revenue by 13% and reconnected with his family in just under 90 days. This isn't minimalism, it's precision. Eliminating everything not serving your highest goals, then doubling down on what does. Now you might be thinking, what if I eliminate something important? I need you to remember this, that elimination isn't permanent. You can always add back what proves essential. But what I've noticed is that most men discover that the 80% of what they eliminate is actually never missed. The acceleration code. After guiding thousands of men through this process, I've distilled elimination down to a 3-step system that consistently creates breakthroughs that results in what I call the acceleration code. Step 1 is getting clear on what actually matters. This is where you define your true north. Without clarity on what you genuinely want, you'll keep adding things that don't move you forward. Now, to get clear on this, you want to ask yourself the following questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? What impact would this have on your identity, freedom, and daily life? Because clarity creates alignment, and alignment eliminates wasted energy. The second step is identifying the one thing. Now, for every goal, there's usually a single high leverage activity that disproportionately impacts results. We call this your force multiplier. Now, to uncover this, you want to ask yourself the following 2 questions. What's the one action that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? And then the second question is, where do I get the biggest return on my energy investment? Now, the beauty of this is it opens you up to new ideas. For example, in fitness, it might be sleep quality rather than the amount of training that you're doing. In business, it might be around client selection. In relationships, it might be presence rather than big, elaborate dates and holidays, etc. And then step 3 is cutting the dead weight. This is where courage really comes in. This is where you honestly assess what's slowing you down and then eliminate it, even when it's uncomfortable. And so to do this, you want to ask yourself the following 3 questions. 1, what activities consume time but don't move me forward? 2, what am I doing out of habit rather than purpose? And then 3, what beliefs are making things harder than they need to be? Now here's the trick with this. Often the most powerful eliminations seem reasonable on the surface. There was one of the brothers who cut his daily news consumption, but he defended it so hard leading up to it because he needed to stay informed. And then another one who eliminated, podcasts, a lot of podcasts around personal development and business and fitness and all these things because he justified it as learning. But the truth is, both of these guys, holding on to these things, it wasn't helping them move forward towards their North Star. And none of these seem problematic until they're removed, and that's when it reveals this hidden drag that's being created. Progress isn't about adding more weight, it's about cutting what holds you back from your full potential. Now, these 3 steps form the foundation of the elimination mindset. And I want to make it clear, these aren't just philosophical concepts, these are backed by hard data across multiple different disciplines. Stanford studies have shown that decision fatigue depletes willpower by 30% just after a few hours. There was also a study done in Berkeley where they found the mere presence of just distractions cuts cognitive resources by up to 40%. And then there was a Harvard Business School study of 24,000 companies that what it showed was that the businesses that were just focused on one thing way outperformed those trying to dominate in every single area. And I love this quote by Antoine that just summarizes everything I'm trying to get across here. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. The measure of success is space created. Elimination fundamentally rewires how you measure achievement. Most men count what they've added: more money, more muscle, more accomplishments. The truly exceptional measure what they've removed and the space it creates. The men who undergo the most dramatic transformations adopt elimination as their operating system. Every decision they make gets filtered through these following 4 questions. Is this necessary or just habitual? Does this move me towards my North Star or just keep me busy? What resistance am I creating for myself? If starting from scratch today, would I choose to add this? And when you do this, it creates a compound effect. Each elimination reduces complexity, which improves focus, which will enhance your results, which builds confidence, which leads to more elimination. The real transformation isn't in your business, your body, or your relationships. It's in how you experience each day with clarity, momentum, and a level of focus that once felt impossible. Fix the internal and the external takes care of itself. And this is your path forward. We live in a culture obsessed with more productivity, more achievement, more hustle. But the elite have discovered the truth. The fastest path to exceptional results isn't addition, it's strategic elimination. This isn't minimalism for its own sake. It's creating space for what matters to win without resistance. Elimination isn't a productivity hack, it's an operating system. In business, it means cutting the 80% that feels productive but moves nothing forward. In fitness, it's ditching the junk volume that drains energy without results. In relationships, it's removing distractions that kill real connection. High performers don't do more, they do less with precision. But to do this, it requires something rare. It's the courage to subtract when everyone else is adding. Saying no to good opportunities to create space for extraordinary ones. Letting go of tasks that provide the illusion of progress without momentum. Rejecting the narrative that grinding equals excellence. And at Rising Kings, we've seen this transform thousands of men's lives. They arrive overwhelmed and plateaued, discovering their breakthrough was never about training more or working harder or doing more stuff. That it was about the art of elimination. And you can start this today by identifying one handbrake creating resistance in your life. Eliminate it for a week and document how you feel. What is the shift? And I'm pretty sure you'll be shocked at just how much momentum comes from this single elimination. Your potential isn't limited by what you're doing. It's limited by what you're allowing to slow you down. Cut the dead weight. Release the handbrake. Experience the acceleration. The path to extraordinary isn't in doing more than others. It's in having the courage to cut what they cling to. So brother, your future self won't thank you for countless hours of grinding. He'll thank you for the clarity to eliminate what never mattered in the first place. And if you got a lot of value from this, then I highly recommend you check out this other video here that will take you further on this journey and on this path to performing at your highest in all that you do. Until next week, stay strong.